is Rosie. Welcome to Our Daily Wisdom Kitchen. Thank you for inviting us into your space. Today we're going to make something new for you, which I hope you will enjoy. We're making scalloped potatoes. I already peeled my potatoes and put them in water just to prevent them from browning. And then I also will make Swiss chard and beets together, well, not together, separately, you'll see. And then I'll also make fried plantain. So welcome and enjoy the journey. This is how I dice my potatoes. Just like that. You don't want to make them too thick and you don't want to make them too thin. So that size is pretty much what you're trying to go for. So this is going to take a little while. So I'll see you shortly after I'm done dicing them. Thank you. And now put this here. See. All right, and then now let's chop the onions. They're clean. I'm just redoing it just for the sake of it. As for the onions, the way I dice my onions for my scalloped potatoes is I'll either go lengthwise or I'll go widthwise. So, like that. Onto the batter, and I'll probably use about, say that much, a big block because we have quite a lot of potatoes, so that should be enough. That goes into the pan. Turn that on. Let's do 7 again. And then I'll now put my onions in there. All that. That's 3 onions I used. And then the half clove of garlic goes in there as well. And then we'll just let that saute for a bit before I add the rest of the stuff in. So as our onions and garlic are sauteing, I just give it a mix a little bit, just to coat everything with the butter. And then again, I just let it do their thing. And then I will, because we'll be baking it, I'll preheat the oven to 350 just so I can get it ready for after this process, because I'm going to put it in here. So by the time that the onions are ready in with the cream and everything, and I coat it in on the baking sheet, then the oven will be good to go. So I'll make sure that it's hot enough to put everything in there. So yeah. Now I'm gonna go in with the spices. They're not quite golden brown yet, which is okay. You can put your spices in right now. If you want to wait, you can wait, but I like to start putting my spices in right now so that they can cook with the onions. Just going in with about 2 pinches of haradali seeds, a little bit, some seasoning salt, not a lot, just a little bit, cloves, also just a little bit, because it goes a long way. A little goes a long way. That's good enough. And then spice it up. Chili powder. This gives it a good spiciness and makes it just a little bitty tiny red, not a whole lot. If you're not into spices or very spicy food, you can opt out of this. But we like spicy food, so we use that a lot in our cooking. So now we'll let them cook a bit more, and then we'll put the creamy sauce in there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. I don't want to add the heat because the onions will burn, and I don't want them to burn. I don't want them to darken too much, because that will ruin the taste as well. Not good. Not very good. But yeah, it's coming along really well. I'm liking that. It's looking good. Looks like you can actually just eat it. As that cooks, because it's now almost ready, now I'll start opening my sauce. This is the Alfredo pasta sauce. So here we go. Let's check out the onions. Yeah, we're getting there. Maybe I'll wait a little minute. Now I put that sauce in there. And then what I like to do after I put the sauce in is I'll lower the heat to medium, because otherwise it will just spout, and then mess the whole place, and you know, you don't want that. This is our twist to scalloped potatoes, which works really well for us. This is just milk We like to use macadamia milk. So I will just swash it in there, just so that I can get all the goodness out. Put it in there. So it's already boiling. I may need to lower the heat some more. But, I like it when it's nice and creamy and thick, because you also don't want it too watery, because otherwise your scallop potatoes will turn out very watery and you may not enjoy that quite much. Okay, now I'm gonna let it boil. As it boils, the next thing I'll do is I'll coat this with oil. So I just spray. You can use whatever oil. We use avocado oil to coat, or you can use butter, you can use olive oil, whichever one you prefer. So this is just easier for me, and I like it. Like the taste. And then I'll lower the heat some more, because I don't want it to like keep overdoing that. And then for the potatoes, because they're still in the water, I leave them in the water because I don't like them to brown. Yeah, it doesn't look very appealing. So I'm gonna drain them. That was a lot of potatoes. So I've drained my potatoes, and now I'm gonna start putting them. There you go, the oven's ready. I'm gonna start lining the potatoes on here, just like that. Ooh. Try to make sure that you don't put a lot of water or extra water in your baking sheet, okay? So we're just going for a layer. Then we'll put the sauce, cheese, repeat. So it's just like that. Okay, that's I think a good layer to begin with. Okay, the sauce is ready. So I'll turn that off. Move it closer so I don't have too much spills on the stove. Just make sure that all the potatoes are sort of covered in it. And then we'll put some cheese. We like to use dairy-free cheese because I don't do dairy as much. So you can also opt out of cheese, but it somewhat helps to bring out the taste and the flavors. Although I've made it without cheese before and it still turned out pretty good. Okay, repeat. Second layer. Just make sure that it doesn't have too much water. Cover here. Okay. And same thing as I did before. Start with the sauce. Just put the sauce on there. Nice. You can do regular cheese, you know, like I said, or opt out of cheese. So you'll just do potatoes, sauce, like that, and it will still be good. And I think I'll just do one more layer and then throw it in the oven. Okay. Repeat again. It's actually a calming process. It makes me calm doing this. I don't know why, but I just enjoy it. Cooking is actually a skill that helps calm people. Well, me, let me speak for myself. But for the few that like to cook, or for the many that like to cook, I'm pretty sure it's something that they enjoy because it calms them. Okay, that's how far our sauce has gone, which is really good. 4 layers, that's pretty good. This meal is quite a lot. It will feed about, say, 5 people to 6 even, because the baking sheet is actually really big. All right, now I'm gonna cover it with a foil paper, and before I throw it in the oven. So just like that. And then in the oven it goes. Bye bye, see you later. So we'll time it for about 40 minutes, and then 40, stop time. Okay, so we'll check it out in 40 minutes. So as our scallop potatoes is almost ready, I'm gonna cook beets, and I also cook the leaves, which is the Swiss chard. Now, growing up, I saw Mom do beets all the time, but she used to throw out the leaves. I don't know why, Mom. Why did you used to throw out the leaves? They're actually very edible. Sorry, Mother, I love you, but I found out that I can actually eat these leaves and they're really good for me. And so I cook them here in my household. So I'll cook the Swiss chard, and then I'll also boil this one. The beets this time, I'm just gonna boil them in water until they're soft, and then I'll cut them up and we'll see. I'll take the ends off, and then I'll rinse the beets themselves. Sometimes beets are quite, I don't know if I should say dirty. Maybe messy is the word. But beets are actually generally sweet, and they're good. They have iron and fiber. They're actually really good for you. So if that's enough water, I'll just turn that on to high and then let that cook. After 40 minutes, remove the scallop potatoes from the oven and cover and put back into the oven for another 20 minutes and then broil. So I'm gonna put the scallop potatoes back in there to broil, and then we'll see what the outcome is. It will probably broil for about 3 to 4 minutes tops. I don't want to go over that because it will start burning, and I don't want that. So timer, let's say 3 minutes. So right now I'm just taking the stems off of the leaves, and then I'll still use the stems, but because they're a little bit hard, they take a bit longer to cook. So I'll show you the secret of how it's done. Okay, so I start with the stems because that's the first thing I'll put in the pan. Trust me, this tastes really, really good. Really good. So I just finely chop them nice and fine. Okay. Next, we now cut the leaves. Doesn't have to be too fine. Something like this. Okay, so now we're ready for our Swiss chard and spinach. Let's do probably 1.5 of olive oil. And then let that saute for a bit. Okay, so at this point, I want to actually shout out to my friend Asia, who is the one that actually told me that you can eat those leaves, Swiss chard. It was quite interesting. Thanks again, Asia. for educating me on that, letting me know that this is actually good food, which it is. I love it. And now I'm going to show you how I make it, my style, which I actually make it with the stems. I know you don't, but I don't make it with the stems. So here we go. We'll just wait for that to saute. I like it when they turn golden brown. Then I know that they're cooked and ready to go. And again, you can use whatever oil you feel comfortable with. It doesn't cook in too long, so that's why I like using olive oil. Okay, let's check. We give it a few more minutes, perhaps 5 more minutes. Okay, so as I watch the pan with the onions for my Swiss chard, here I am just getting the ripe plantain ready, and we will fry that as well. That's part of our meal today. If it's green, I love it boiled. I love it boiled. But ripe is really good to fry, so. All right, so we'll keep stirring that and just making sure that it's not burning, because we don't want it to burn. We want it to turn golden brown for sure, but we don't want it to burn. That's almost there. The plantain is ready, so I'm just gonna salt it. Just a little bit of seasoning salt is what I use. Just a little bit like that. And then I'll also use chili powder again. Spicy household. Actually, I want to use this side so I don't overdo it. Okay. That's really good. So that's already ready to be fried. Okay. Let's check the onions. For this part, I don't like to put any spices in it. This is a very simple dish to cook, so it just calls for onions, garlic, and oil, and salt to taste. It's up to you if you want to spice it, but as for us, this is one dish that we don't usually spice. We love it like that, just old school. All right, onions are there. Which is awesome, as you can tell by the color. And in goes the stems, nicely finely chopped stems. Give it a little stir. And then I'll leave this to cook for about, say, 5 minutes-ish, and then I'll add the rest of the stuff in it. Okay, you can keep stirring it just so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. But I don't add anything. I don't like adding water. I don't like adding anything at all. Just be simple, traditional, and old school. Okay, so there, my beets feel quite soft, so I'm going to turn that off. And then I shall put them in a bowl, just like that. Okay, so I'll let them cool and then I will peel them after a while. Right now they're too hot. Alright, as that keeps going, I will now get the pan ready for oil, with oil rather, so I can cook the plantain in it. It's crunchy, but not too crunchy. Just a crunch that's comfortable, you know, for the bite. And then start adding in this chard slowly. And give it a stir. At this point, I lower the heat to medium because the leaves are soft. They don't really need too much cooking, you know? Alright, after I've stirred the pan until there's room enough, then I add the spinach in. As you know, spinach are super soft as well. You can also use frozen spinach at this point. Just remember to throw it. See, actually, so I'm gonna throw in a few spinach leaves. Oil is ready. That's what they look like. Let's see what they taste like. So, okay, we're turning the plantain so that both sides cook well. Alright, so our dishes are done. Yay! Everything turned out super awesome. So it's time to sample and tell you the verdict. So going in first with scalloped potatoes. That looks really, really good. Nice and creamy. Ooh. My mouth is watering. I'm sure yours is too. Look at that. Just look at that. Then I'm gonna do Swiss chard. Oh my word. Now I'm hungry. And plantain. And some cut up beets on the side. Oh, wow. I'm already happy. Even just looking at it just makes me super happy. Oh, the beets just reminds me of my mother. Oh, mother. How I wish you were here to try this. All right, first let me try the scalloped potatoes. It's hot. Amazing. And the veggies. Traditional. How about the plantain? Let's see. It just adds to the sweetness, because you know, that's the wonderful sweetness of plantain. And now let's sample the beets. So heavenly. Wow, so yeah, I know I prepared this meal and you guys think I'm laughing, but I'm telling you, try this recipe out. It will you out. Like seriously, it's amazing. Cook it for your loved one, cook it for your family, cook it for your friends, cook it wherever. It's oh, the combination too, it's heavenly. So try it out. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye.